Hey everybody, welcome to this Futures Radio Show blog post, where I will discuss advanced options trading on the TT platform with my friend Bernie Schwartz. Bernie is the options product manager at Trading Technologies. Now, most of you know that last month I was in London attending FIA IDX. So while I was in London, I asked Bernie to sit down and chat with me a little bit about what's going on at TT with options on futures. There's so much growth in options on futures. It seems that everyone I talk to in the industry, myself included, is getting more involved with options on futures. Since I am a TT user and have been for close to 20 years now, I wanted to sit down with Bernie to get the scoop on what's happening at TT with options on futures. Now, Bernie's traded options for many years, so he knows what option traders need on a platform. So it was great to hear how excited he was about what's happening at TT with options on their platform. He gave us details on the advanced options package that offers professional options trading tools. He explained to us that because of the demand from TT's longtime users, along with increased global interest in the options markets, this has turned much of TT's recent focus towards enhancing their presence in the options markets. It was very interesting for me to hear how many TT users are now looking to use options on futures. To learn more about options on TT, please visit tradingtechnologies.com/options. Now, here's my interview with Bernie. We're here at IDX in London. Hope you're loving it here in London as much as I am. Now, today we're going to focus a lot on options on futures. But first, I want to learn more about you, and I want to hear your backstory. Now, I know you started on the Cboe floor. You were a trader for many years, trading options, and now you're currently working with TT on their options suite on the TT platform. So, Bernie, take us back to the beginning. How did you get your start in the trading industry?
Yeah, I got my start a bit accidentally. I started as a clerk on the floor of the Cboe when I was very young. This was back in about 2000, and started as a clerk in the options pits on the Cboe floor. Really started to learn about the industry down there and fell in love with options. And once I started to learn really what these instruments were and how they're used and how they're traded, I got really excited about it. Not only that, but being on the trading floor, being around the pits was thrilling. Not so, it's gone away now, but it was really thrilling at the time. And as I started to learn a little bit more about the business and about trading, I got a whole lot more into the analytics of options, and traded on the floor of the Cboe and the CME for a number of years in the pit, in a couple of different pits, indexes, equities, interest rate options. And transitioned into more of a desk role from there. Moved upstairs, moved off the floor, started trading on the desk for a couple of different firms, and when I did that, I started to learn a whole lot about electronic trading. That's when electronic trading was really coming to the fore. The pits were starting to fade, and as part of that job, I helped to develop a proprietary trading system for the group that I was working for, an electronic options trading system. Learned a whole lot about the inner workings of electronic trade, and used that system and a couple others for a number of years, as long as I really could, and kind of took that knowledge once I was unable to really make it any longer as a trader. Took that knowledge and went to a couple of different options trading platforms and worked with them, and made my way eventually to TT. Where I was lucky enough to get involved with our offering.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. I've talked about this many times on the show. I love how TT hires people that were traders, and you've been able to evolve and adapt to the different trading conditions. Like you said, you were on the floor, you traded electronically, you worked for desks, built trading systems. So it's great to hear that you're now working with TT on growing the option suite on the platform. So I'm curious about it. I've been learning more and more about options on futures over the last few years. I've talked about this on Twitter and on the show. And I'm really glad to see that TT, because I use their platform, is now putting more into the option side of things. As everyone knows, they're traditionally for the future side. But so talk to us, give us the rundown. What is available, and talk to us about the functionality of the options on the TT platform.
So we've added a whole lot of specific tools that are specific to options trading. Things like an options chain, a vol curve manager, an RFQ viewer to allow you to view the market and execute. Risk management tools like a risk matrix and an expiration manager, things that would help an options trader manage his position over time. In addition, we've got a number of options algos that we've added, things like order by volatility and auto hedger, specific execution tools that are unique to options.
So can people use the ADL that they're using on futures for the options too?
Yes, not quite in as robust a manner as you can with futures, but that's a big project for this year that we're going to be developing, an options block that we're going to be adding to ADL, which we think is really going to be powerful for options users.
Yeah, I mean, just running through my head, so if somebody is doing some options, is it going to be able to possibly have it automatically offset on the futures side?
That's the idea. That's what the auto hedger algo is all about. So we'll allow you to hedge your options trades with futures. Because we have robust analytics and accurate Greeks and delta, and we can get into that. That's exactly what the auto hedger algo is going to do. When we add an options block to ADL, you're going to be able to do just about anything you want in terms of strategy and trade.
Yeah, I know that all the professional futures traders out there that are learning about options or that have been trading options are really glad to hear that, because now you have your options and your futures on the same platform.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Now, TT has been primarily focused on futures for many years. So why are they now adding these functionalities to TT?
Well, I think it was to be quite frank, a bit of a missing tool set on TT for a long time. There are a lot of futures traders who will use options to hedge their positions or as a strategic investment by themselves, and it's allowing us to reach a number of new users, and it's allowing our current users really to expand their capabilities and to be able to manage positions and put on positions that they wouldn't have ordinarily with futures only.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. Everybody I talk to in this industry is talking about the growth of options on futures, and that's really what I want to talk about next is someone who's always traded futures, not options. I've talked about I trade a little bit of options, but not that much. But as I've been looking into it over the past several years, like I said, I'm glad to hear that TT's putting more resources out there, but talk to everybody else out there that maybe is not like me learning how to trade options on futures, and why should they trade options on futures, and why should TT now be their platform of choice?
Look, futures investing is fantastic, but it really gives you a limited view into the market in general. And what options allow you to do is capture the volatility of the futures market. So a lot of traders, when they trade futures, will take directional bets, but options allow you to trade the volatility of the market in general, which is what drew me to options in the first place. Rather than trading the instrument itself, there's a lot more about market activity and market movement. And trading options allows you to capture that, allows the trader to put on, I want to say, a more diversified portfolio, but that's not exactly right. It's more about another aspect to the futures that they're trading. Options essentially are another level of derivative of the future. And it allows you to go to another level, to a deeper level. When we talk about volatility, we talk about the risk metrics that are associated with options. It gives the user a lot more insight into the market in general and the market trends in general. Options can allow a user to capture some of that, to analyze it. Options can allow you to hedge positions, put on speculative positions if you choose. Really just gives you a ton more flexibility than you have with the futures instruments alone. And trading them in conjunction, putting on a position that involves options and futures can really give you a real wide position on the futures market in general. TT is uniquely positioned to capture that because of what we've done with futures in the past. We're able to do with options now. We're able to integrate our futures tools and our options tools, and it's something that I love to be able to do. I can see it all on the same screen, and the ability to integrate your options trades with your futures trades is something that we do incredibly well.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it from my standpoint. Why did I start learning how to trade options? Because I wanted to have a stronger hand in the market in certain positions. I mean, I was getting shooken out of futures many a times, and I've been doing this a long time, and I would look at it and be like, well, look, I ended up being right. I get shaken out of my position, and then my options friends would be like, hey, I caught that run. And so I said, you know what, for the ones that I felt that could extend beyond the day, I started to look at options on futures, and it's, like I said, I'm still learning, but I agree with you. It's one of those things where you diversify yourself as a futures trader.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think that's what's very important. So, Bernie, you've been in this industry a long time. You've seen the floor, you've built systems, you've traded electronically, now you're working on the option suite on the TT platform. Talk to us about the changes you've seen in the options market since you started.
Well, the biggest change by far has been the number of participants. When I started, and you talked about how I've been in this industry longer than I care to really say. But when I started, it was a bit of the Wild West in terms of options trading. There was a whole lot. There was a whole lot of movement in the options market. The market has become a lot more efficient, and it's made traders need to educate themselves more about how to trade options, how to manage them, and to be quite frank, it's a whole lot harder to trade options these days than it was. But we see a whole lot more market participants. We see a whole lot more exchanges getting involved, listing more options, and we see more sophisticated tools and more sophisticated traders out there that have really made the market efficient.
So let's talk a little bit more about that, Bernie. How are traders using options on futures in effective and creative ways?
Because options are so much about volatility, we see traders essentially betting on market volatility now, and there's a whole lot more. Use of options when traders think about geopolitical events, market events, anything that happens outside of the trading world. And so we see traders using options to capture that volatility, or to manage a specific direction on the market, on the futures market in general.
So Bernie, talk to me a little bit about you working with a lot of these professional traders that are now using the options suite on the TT platform. What are some of the things that they're excited about that you guys have added?
They're excited about the same things that I'm excited about, which are our options algos development, the ability to customize your strategy. So the options algos that we have, trading in volatility terms rather than in price terms, is something that's very exciting for traders and for me. Being a former trader myself, but the ability to go beyond what some other platforms offer, create unique strategies, determine your entry and exit points from the market, and as well, we've gotten a whole lot of really great feedback on our risk management tools. So we've added risk management capabilities, risk matrix, that traders are finding helpful in managing their positions day over day.
Talk to us a little bit more about the risk management on the software. What are they getting?
One of the biggest pieces of functionality that's gotten good feedback and that I've been very proud of is our scenario risk management. So yeah, we talk about risk management, watching your position, but what TT allows you to do is apply what-if scenarios to your position. So I want to see what happens, not only if the futures market moves up and down, but what happens if volatility moves. What happens as my position goes out in time? What happens if I were to put on a certain hedge position? And the ability to apply those scenarios and sort of see into the future a bit is really what allows traders to put on the positions that are going to help them. Really allows them to better manage their trading.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie, you nailed it there. I mean, when you were demoing that for me and I was looking at that on the options platform, to me, that's one of those things where the light bulb goes off as a trader, because now you're sitting back going, you're learning about options, and you have these, you could put together scenarios for possibilities for your trade ideas without putting money up to risk. And so it helps you with risk management, it helps you with all these different things.
That's right.
Awesome insight today. Bernie, where can people find you on Twitter, and give us a website?
So I'm not on Twitter personally, Anthony, but at trading_tech on Twitter is the TT Twitter handle. Tradingtechnologies.com is our website, and we've got a whole options solutions page dedicated to our functionality and our tools.
Can people demo the TT options platform?
They absolutely can. You get a 30-day free demo for anybody who would like to try it out, and that's again available on our website.
Very cool. I highly suggest you go out there and demo it, and TT and their team will they'll definitely help you while you're demoing the product. Bernie, thank you so much for giving us insight today on options on futures.
Thanks very much, Anthony.